Hello everybody, RopeFox here, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition Redstone tutorial. In this Redstone tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the loot box machine that I made on the Truly Bedrock server. To get things started, you are going to need a 3x6 area like you see right here, and now let's take a look at the supplies. There we go, there are all the supplies you're going to need for this build. So we have 4 sticky pistons, 1 observer, 1 dropper, 2 redstone blocks, 2 comparators, 1 repeater, 6 redstone dust, 3 hoppers, a redstone lamp, 2 note blocks, your building blocks, a glass block, 1 glass pane, 2 emerald blocks, a barrel, your filler blocks for your item filter, and then you'll need your item that you're going to use for your payment. In this case, I'm using a diamond block. The first thing we're going to do is build the payment system, so go ahead and grab your barrel. We want to go 1 block back and then over to the far right, place that barrel down. Next, grab your hopper. We want to run a hopper into the side of the barrel like so. Run a hopper into that hopper like that. And then what we're going to do is place a temporary block right here. Get your last hopper and run a hopper into that block so you can see the hopper is running into the block right there. Next, grab your building blocks and go ahead and put a block here, here, and here. Get your comparator, run it out from the top hopper right there. Place redstone dust just like that. Now go ahead and grab your sticky piston and place your sticky piston right there, and then a redstone block on the face of that sticky piston. So there we go. That is how the redstone should look for the payment system. And then what we want to do next is grab our filter blocks and go ahead and place 1, 2, 3 here. You'll have 18 left over. Place the 18 like that, and then get your payment item and put it in the first slot of the hopper like so. To quickly explain how this works, because this can be applied to many things, what we have is the comparator reading the items in the hopper here, which in this case we have a total of 22 items. So we have 3, 18 is 21, with our payment block or item that's going to be 22. So in order to get an output of 2, currently we have an output of 1, we are going to need 23 items, and that 23rd item is going to be the payment item that goes into the hopper. So let's go ahead and toss that in. You can see that was powered very quickly. That's going to power the piston, extending the block forward, and what this is doing right now is locking the items in place. If this block was not here, so let me just go ahead and remove it, you can see it is slowly taking all the items down, which is why we have that redstone block there. If we do this one more time without breaking it, now that you understand how this redstone circuit works, if we toss the item in, that's going to extend, allowing the one item we tossed in to go down into the barrel below. Now, what we can do is build the front of the loot box machine. So go ahead and place a block here and surround the hopper with blocks like so. And I do believe I forgot to add a carpet to the supply list, but you can place a carpet over this like I did just to cover up the hopper and make it look nice. From here, what we want to do is place a block here just like that, a block on both sides, a temporary block behind the center block. Grab your dropper, place the dropper there. We can go ahead and break that. Blocks up like this. And then what I did was place a glass pane here, because this will allow, first of all, it won't allow someone to just reach into the dropper, because we definitely don't want that. But at the same time, it also allows the dropper to spit out the item and just land right here without flying all over the place. I know in Java, I'm pretty sure the blocks just shoot out nicely, or at least off to the side, but in Bedrock, they don't do that. They can fly anywhere if there is a solid block in front of it. So using a glass pane allows the dropper to spit the item out and stay right here. The next circuit is going to be very simple and straightforward, and it's going to be the circuit that powers the dropper here. So what we're going to do is come back here, place a temporary block like that, get your sticky piston, place the sticky piston facing up. You will see that redstone dust connect the piston like so, and that's fine because we know it's going to power this piston, but also the redstone dust being on top of this block is powering that piston for our payment system. So it's doing double duty here. Now go ahead and grab your observer. Come right here, place your observer facing in this direction. So we want the red dot facing towards the build and the face of the observer facing away from it. Now what we're going to do, and this is kind of personal preference, you could honestly just put a block right here. And then when this extends, the observer is going to come up, power this block, which is then going to power the dropper. So let me go ahead and quickly demonstrate that. Let's throw that in there. Diamond block payment goes in. And basically that is the loot box machine finished if you wanted to keep it very basic, but the rest of the stuff is going to be all the bells and whistles. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I did on the server, is I'm going to break this. I'm going to use an emerald block instead with a note block. And the reason why I use this is because the emerald block actually gives the note block an 8-bit sound. So it gives it this sound here, which I feel kind of has that casino / slot machine feel to it, which is why I like to use it. So I do that. And I just set it to C right here, as indicated by that red note like you just saw. And that is the circuit completed. So if we do this again, let's say we have loot boxes inside. We'll get the diamond payment from down below, toss it in, and there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and wire up the circuit that's going to power the redstone lamp to let players know if there is inventory or not. So this is very simple as well. What we want to do is look at the observer, place a block there like so, get your comparator, run the comparator out from the dropper, and just like the hopper, it's going to detect if there are any items inside the dropper here. So currently we don't have anything. Let's go ahead and place a temporary block here. Get your sticky piston, place a sticky piston facing up with a redstone block on its face, and then go ahead and get your glass block, crouch place it on top of the dropper like so, and then one more block right here, and then get your redstone dust and place redstone dust on top of the glass block and the block here. Right now, there is nothing in the dropper, so that means we would not have any loot boxes for sale at the moment, but as soon as we do, let's place that in there. That is going to be detected by the comparator, powering the piston, extending this. The redstone block is then going to power the redstone dust right here, and then power the lamp to let people know that there is actually something in stock. And the reason why I use a glass block is to keep this from powering the dropper, or in this case, the note block if you do choose to use it. You could use an upper slab, but I personally like using glass blocks. So that's the only reason why we have a glass block here on top of the dropper instead of a solid block. The last feature I added to this build is the hopper locker. Now, we do have the system in place that if nothing is in stock, the redstone lamp is off, and with that, I do recommend placing an instruction book nearby to let players know how this works, but we do have the feature of the redstone lamp showing inventory if it's there or not, but as an extra safety measure, what I decided to do is when this runs out of inventory, I want the hopper to be locked. That way, if someone comes by, doesn't see for whatever reason that the redstone lamp is off, they try to toss in a diamond block, this hopper locker will prevent this from actually taking the diamond payment, and then it'll just float right here. To do this, what we're going to do is build off of the circuit right here, place a block like that, get your redstone dust, place it right there, get your sticky piston, come down below, place your sticky piston on the bottom of that block. This is going to extend because remember, we currently do have a quote-unquote loot box in here at the moment. Place a redstone block right here. And then what we're going to do is place a block here, redstone dust right there. Now, you can see this is an issue. This circuit is intermingling with this one, and to simply cut them off from each other, all we're going to do is place a block right there. So you can see that switched over, and then if we come over to this side, you can see this has gone back to being its own circuit. Once you have that block in place, go ahead and place one more block right here, get your repeater, and run it into this block right there that is against this hopper. As you see here, we do have inventory in stock as indicated by the redstone lamp. This is being powered, that's extended, which means the hopper locker is not being powered at the moment, which means we can just make a payment like this. And there's that. Now let's say we are completely out. So let's remove this item here. And you can see this does retract. The redstone lamp turns off just like we saw with that circuit. This is retracted. This is then powering this redstone line, which is powering this repeater, which is then going to power this block, thus locking the hopper. So now if we go ahead and try to throw a diamond block in, it's not going to let you. And finally, we have the last note block we need to put in. Again, this is totally optional, just like the note block over on this side, but I like to make this have noises. So we're going to place a temporary block right here, emerald block right there. Go ahead and get rid of that, and place your last note block on top, right against the retracted redstone block. And then all I did was set this to a higher octave than the note I have on the other side. I'm not sure what note we're going to end up with. Let's go with that. So what this is going to do, let me quickly demonstrate. We have our loot box that's going to be inside. Let's say this is going to be the last loot box inside our loot box machine. So we have the redstone lamp that is on, letting the player know that there is still inventory left. We're going to throw in the diamond block. And there we go. That actually sounded nice. That worked out. So let's do that one more time, just because I like the way that sounded. So we'll put that in there. That's going to extend again because we have inventory in stock. So the first beep that you hear is this circuit over on this side, and then that higher one that we just did is when it runs out. So this retracts. This is then going to power the note block right there. So again, note blocks aren't necessary, but is definitely fun to have as a part of the build. And now we are finally done. So we can just go ahead and add all of our loot boxes into our loot box machine like so. It doesn't really matter where you put them. I just like the way this looks. So this is how I put them in. Just like that. You can make your loot boxes whatever you want them to be. But on the server, I had the greens being common, the blues being rares, the purples being epic, and then the orange being a legendary. So that is exactly how I had it set up on the server. And just one more quick demonstration. We can go ahead and toss our payment in right there. That's going to give us a loot box at random. And of course, there are more loot boxes in stock. And there you have it, everyone. That is how you make a loot box machine. This is going to be the end of today's tutorial. I really hope you all enjoyed. This has been Rogue Fox, and I will see you later.